What's up, everyone? Aaron Negler, CHTV. I'm with Charles McDonald, the preeminent NFL writer with the New York Daily News, and we are talking Seahawks, Eagles, a rematch from earlier this year. My big question coming into this game, obviously the Eagles have gotten righted the ship, so to speak. They were hard to watch for a good stretch of the season.
Yeah.
But these last kind of 3-4 weeks, it seems like they're putting it together. I love their pass rushers. Can Seattle hold up with Dwayne Brown most likely not playing in this game?
No. I don't think the offensive line can hold up, but that's kind of been the story for the whole season in terms of how well or how poorly really they've protected Russell Wilson. So, Dwayne Brown being out, we've watched Russell Wilson through the years. Like
he'll make it work.
He'll make it work somehow. Like that, a backup left tackle does not really faze him. Even if he's going to have guys in his face all game long. But, man, it's just weird because I think if these two teams were healthy, like you'd be willing to take the Eagles. But when you look at how banged up they are, I mean, they just lost Brandon Brooks.
It's crazy. I mean,
Sunday. Zach Ertz has been dealing with injuries. DeSean Jackson's out. Alshon Jeffrey's out. Like, they're at a point where Carson...
And they're in the playoffs.
Right, and they're in the playoffs.
Crazy.
Well, we can laugh at the Cowboys.
Yes, we can. I mean, you're always welcome to laugh at the Cowboys. Trust me.
Because they had that in the bag and they just let it. They completely let it go. But I mean, for them to even be in this situation with or without the help of the Cowboys kind of tanking the last of the season. I mean, they're here with Greg Ward at receiver. He was playing quarterback at Houston a couple years ago. And it's just crazy that they're in the spot. And, I think you got to give some props to Carson Wentz for figuring.
Well, Wentz has improved his play. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, because there was a point, especially.
He was bad. There was a bad stretch there.
The first game that these two played?
That game was bad.
He was terrible.
Yes.
Don't even need to, cover it up or anything. He was awful in that game. And now he's at a point where I was at the game on Sunday between the Eagles and the Giants, and he's become more comfortable playing with less surroundings, I think.
Well, and the young back whose name is totally escaping me here, the running back, they've found a running back who is
Boston Scott, Miles Sanders.
Sanders. That kid, they both can play.
Yeah.
They're both little spark plugs, so to speak. But it's funny because you think the wide receiver position, you talk about all the guys they missed. Packers fans are certainly familiar with not having a ton to work with at wide receiver. But I think the emergence of the backs and Wentz kind of getting his play together is really what's kind of driven this offense. I mean, that and Ertz, of course, but that's an obvious one.
But, I mean, Ertz missed a game on Sunday. Yeah. They still put up 30.
It's questionable, I think, for this game, too.
Yeah. I mean, I was say they still put up 34 points, but
it's the Giants. Yeah, there you go.
So, it's just really impressive that they're in this situation, and I think that they're a better coached team than the Eagles. I mean, than the Seahawks.
Right.
But Russell.
Well, what about that, though? Because Russell Wilson is the X factor, right? I mean, everybody knows that. He can pull a play out of absolutely nothing and make it something huge often. To me, this game comes down to, and I do agree that Doug Peterson has, because you look at the limitations he's had personnel-wise, he has done good work to get them to this point. Can he finally crack the code with Pete Carroll? Because Pete Carroll's defense has stymied him throughout his career, regardless of who he's playing with, meaning Carroll, as far as who's in the secondary. Yeah. I mean, Wagner's been in kind of the stalwart there, but other than that, lots of different guys. Doug hasn't been able to move the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of where it changes, though, because when they first played, that was when the Eagles roster was really starting to fall apart.
That's true.
You have so many guys at new spots, and the NFL doesn't slow down just because you got guys stop. You have to get these guys ready to go on the fly. And I think the first game, one, Wentz was terrible, we said, and two, it just didn't seem like these new guys that they were trying to get into the lineup really had a great grasp on, one, how to play NFL football. We saw J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in that game. Was not good, and you just have so many moving parts that haven't played together.
Was that the game? I'm trying to remember. Was that the patented Aguilar drop in the end zone there at the end? Or was that a different game? I think that was a different game.
It might have been a different game, but
there's one every week,
right?
So you can use the meme or whatever. It's good.
But this Eagles team just feels more confident in who they're playing with now. Because I mean, that game on Sunday, they had the perfect plan for all their defensive. All their personnel on offense, they used Boston Scott in the screen game. He had 90 yards on 4 catches on screens, and it just feels like Doug Peterson and Wentz have a better familiarity with who they're playing with now. So, the Seahawks defense has, in general, shut down Peterson, but this Seahawks defense is not very good right now. Their pass rush is maybe the worst in the league. And that's crazy to say about a team that's Jadeveon Clowney, but it's been pretty bad for them. So, if Zach Ertz is going to play and he can get that weapon back, I don't know. I think I like the Eagles to get this done on the road.
I was just going to say, so you're picking the Eagles in this one, huh?
Yeah, and the Seahawks are a really weird team.
They are. It's true.
They're weird.
They can look so bad for a quarter and then turn it on. Look at that 49ers game.
Right.
I mean, at the beginning of that game, was it like 10-0 or something? Or like 13-0. 13-0. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, here we go. And then the Seahawks, so like, make it a game. But why wasn't it that coming out at home?
Yeah.
Big stage. But for whatever reason, they're just a weird team.
They're a weird team. I mean, we're talking about a team that's 12-4 and has a point differential of 7.
That's 7 points. I saw that. It's crazy.
It's lower than Tampa Bay this year. And one of my favorite point differential stats, I think the Chargers were like -8 and 5-11. It's like it's
that's incredible.
It's just they're just one of those teams that no matter who you put in front of them, they're playing to that level.
The level of whoever it is across the field.
Remember, they started the season. They almost lost to the Bengals 21-20.
Yep. That first game, I thought the Bengals had something. I was like, oh, well, look at this. They went into Seattle and they showed me something. And then they proceeded to lose almost every game.
Yeah. I like the Eagles to win this game, though.
I think I'm in agreement there. We'll see on Sunday. Thanks so much for coming in, Charles. Charles McDonald, the NFL lead writer for the New York Daily News here on CHTV.